Hey everybody, welcome back to Anime Sekai Podcast. I am your host, Ichigo.
And I am your host, Mikan.
Join us this week as we discuss A Sign of Affection. Hey guys, welcome back.
Hey, guys.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. So, first off, I apologize for my voice. Y'all, I got isekai to the land of the ick.
To the land of the ick and the sick.
Ah, this sucks, but I'm just gonna push through. I've lost my voice, but I feel feeling wise, I feel great compared to a couple of days ago. But my voice still has not returned back from being in the land of the ick. So I apologies for my voice for this episode, guys. But we're just gonna power through. We
It's okay.
go.
You think of it as your sultry voice.
Yes, it's my sultry, squeaky
No,
voice. It sounds squeaky to me, I'm not gonna lie, but you know what?
you
We
sound
love you
perfect.
guys. Yeah, we love you guys. So, and I feel great. So, you know, we just gonna push through it for this episode
Yes.
because this week is a special week. I got Mika to watch A Sign of Affection, y'all.
She did. She did. It
I'm
was on
so
my list,
happy. It
but I
was
did
on your
watch it.
list. It was on
Yeah.
your list. And I'm scared. I'm scared. I really am.
Uh-huh.
Because I love this anime and I love it so much. I don't want to have to jump you, okay? Like
I'm about to destroy you. No, I'm kidding.
no. I
No, I'm
love
kidding.
it so much. This definitely is one of my favorites. So for those that have not seen it, as usual, we're giving out spoilers. So if you haven't seen it, I suggest you pause the episode, go watch it, come back, then all is well with the world. So, just jumping right on in. A Sign of Affection is a story about Yuki Itose, who is a typical student dealing with the pressures of college. One day on the train, when an upperclassman, Itsuomi Nagi, helps her out. As he gradually opens a new world for her, Yuki develops feelings for Itsuomi. A pure love story begins to grow. And just note, Yuki Itose is hearing impaired. So this is a beautiful love story about a girl who is hearing impaired and a guy who is not. And he slowly learns and opens her world to new wonderful things. And let's just jump right in.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, give it to me. Give it to me. So I can jump you later.
So I actually have two reviews I want to give.
Okay.
My personal review and then this anime as a whole for like the
Okay.
general public.
Okay.
Um I think huh. So my review for the general public, I think this is actually a very cute anime to watch. I think it's very sweet. At first it was a little bit slow, like the first I think 3-ish episodes I was kind of like, and then they like really just jump into the relationship, which I actually liked. It kind of like sped everything up. Um I think it's a very cute romance, slice of life thing. So if that's what you guys want, like I really think this is a great watch for that. If you don't want to think too
Okay.
hard, if you don't want to like feel too much, like a roller coaster of emotions, I really do think this is a great story because it's just it's a really easy watch and it's heartfelt and it's moving, but it's not where you're gonna be in tears crying the whole time, you know? It's just like a oh kind of thing. And I really like that. At first I thought I was gonna be like, oh, this is kind of slow, but the jumping into the relationship, I was like, good job. They just went straight through. I thought there would be more like a love triangle there, but they didn't really stop there too long and they just kept
Nah.
going. And I really did love that. And the art, oh my gosh, the art is
It's
stunning. So
beautiful.
beautiful.
I love the concept of
It's
the watercolor added in.
mhm.
Love it.
It's so pretty, and, like, honestly, I mean, I can't be mad at Yuki for being into Itsuomi. I mean, he's a beautiful man, okay? And
He
he
fine, girl.
he
He is fine,
he was really
okay?
slick with all his moves and stuff. I mean, I don't blame
Ooh,
her. I don't blame anyone for being in love with
ooh.
that man. Like,
That man is fine,
he
okay?
even had all the men there, like, loving him too. Like, even his ops, like, oh, shit, as well. Couldn't hate on him because he was too good.
Girl,
I get it. I get it. And I thought even the love triangle, it wasn't very long felt. Like in episode 4 at the train station when Yuki accidentally like, bumps into Oshi and they're sitting on the train and he puts his head on her. I was like, "Ah, girl, is there gonna be like a little triangle going on?" And then she full on rejects him saying he's heavy. And he's gotten friend zoned so hard. I was honestly like, if there were any tears, it was for him. Like I was like so sad for him. I was like, "Oh my god, this poor man, like, somebody love him." I mean, he did have a girl. What is her name? Izumi, I think? Yeah, his friend. Also, I thought it was funny that there's so much unrequited love in this like, everybody loves somebody else that doesn't love them, except for
right?
literally a few of the people, and I was like, "Dang, okay, everybody is just in love with somebody else." That's a little rough, but honestly, from episode 4, when it started to, like, progress, like, after that train scene, really, everything started to progress really fast. Cause like, when she, like, falls over and Itsumi catches her oh my god, also that scene where he covers her eyes so she can't see what Oshi's saying, and Oshi was telling him, like, "You shouldn't grab her from behind cause she can't hear," and mother flipping Itsuomi's like, with all the confidence in the world, he goes, "Yuki said she doesn't mind it when it's me." Like, the audacity of some of
Bro,
these
those were
men. Like,
fighting words, but I loved it.
I did love the confidence, but he wasn't, like, cocky. He was like, "I like this girl, she likes me, I know what's up."
He was like, "Look,
Oshi
Imma do what I can to keep my hold on her, okay?
Yeah,
Let me get to
Oshi
know
never
this
had a
girl a
chance,
little bit
bro.
more."
I mean, Oshi did have a chance all these years, he just never took it, so some other
He did
beautiful
not have a
man rizzed her
chance.
up.
He didn't have a
Yeah,
chance.
he didn't. Also, I really died when they went to Cos Taco instead of like, it was supposed to be Costco. I was dying. Hilarious. Like, honestly, Itsumi's such a player, but I can't hate on him, he's so smooth. He just brings her into his house, and he's feeding her and all this stuff. He has no personal space, which is hilarious. You
He's
know
like, "Hey, you wanna take a bath?" I was like
mhm, he doesn't beat around the bush, and I was like, "You know what? I appreciate that. Speed this up. I don't need all that drama," you know?
I was like, "Girl, go for it." He's
Truly.
definitely which I will say, Itsuomi is one of the main, like, shoujo-esque guy characters that I've seen that's
Mhm,
rare to me. Like,
mhm,
he's confident, he's not cocky, and he knows what he wants, and
mhm.
he goes after what he wants, but he also respects her boundaries. He
Yeah,
doesn't push her, he doesn't, like, give her any ultimatums. He's like, "Look, we'll go at your pace.
yeah,
That's fine." That's what I love about
and,
his
you
character.
know
And he's fine, girl.
yeah, and you guys, like, if you really want to see something truly fiction, there is no other show closer to fiction because there's no such man as Itsuomi. Now that's a man written by a woman, Sure.
I mean, I'm pretty sure there's a guy out there who's like Itsuomi, okay?
Mhm. You mean to tell me that good looking, that much of a smooth player? He very unlikely. Possible, definitely, but very unlikely. But he is a fine gentleman. Ooh.
He is a fine gentleman. Yes. Okay. So, I'm glad to hear that you at least enjoyed it.
Mhm.
Did you enjoy this a little bit more than Yakuza Fiance?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. I think overall, I did like Itsuomi was just a better character. He's actually not as he's not necessarily more complex, but he's just a better person in general, a better character. He doesn't play around. And he's even good with like other male characters. Like when Oshi like confronts Itsumi and Itsumi's trying to be friends with him. Honestly, he's such a good guy. Like he's confident in himself, but also Yuki, and he tells him like no matter where I would meet Yuki, I'd always fall for her.
Yes, that part, girl, that line, I was like,
Mhm.
"That's a man who knows what he wants."
Yeah. And he's just loved by everyone because he really cares for everyone. And
Mhm.
I just I really like the part when Oshi says my favorite bread is curry, karepan, like curry bread, because Itsuomi asked him what his favorite bread was before when Oshi was like rejecting him, like he didn't want to be his friend. And Oshi's just crying over here because he realizes Itsuomi is such a good guy, but also his first love is truly out of reach. He's like, "I
Yeah,
lost her to
nah.
a really good one," so he kinda gave up there, which understandable.
Well, I mean,
Um,
and he did kinda accept it in the end where he was like, "Look, the moment you drop the ball, I'm
yeah,
gonna pick it up and take her from you." And I was like, "Okay." That means he at
yeah,
least accepts the relationship, and he's not going to be toxic in a way of trying to separate them.
mhm. No, I think, like, once he really saw the kind of person he was, because he really thought in the beginning, like, "Oh, he's not a good guy." He
Mm.
he he basically waved his white flag in a sense, but, I mean, he had all these years to step up and, tell her, but he never did, so that's on him.
That is. That is,
Where, like, out of
unfortunately.
all the recent, like, shoujos you've seen, where would you rank this for you?
Oh, girl. Top 5. Hands
Oh,
down top
wow,
5.
okay.
Yeah, hands down top 5. I thoroughly enjoyed this show.
Mhm,
Um, I actually was not expecting, or what I should say, what I kind of wanted to see a little bit more was a little bit more interaction between Emma, Itsuomi, and Yuki. I
mhm.
kind of wanted to see a little bit of like
A love triangle?
like love triangle
Honestly, it was
drama.
a love square a bit there with Oshi.
Well, yeah, with Shin, but Shin loved Emma,
No,
and
no,
then
no, with Oshi, I mean, it was like a weird
uh,
actually, there's 5
uh
people involved. One,
yeah,
two,
there was
three,
like
four,
5 people
5.
involved because
Yeah, that's
Shin loved
crazy.
Emma, Emma
Mhm.
loved Itsuomi, Itsuomi and Yuki were falling for
Liked
each
each
other, and then
other, mhm,
Oshi
and Oshi liked
liked Yuki.
Yuki.
Yeah, it was all kind of weird,
And then
but
Izumi liked Oshi, so there was actually more. Uh,
but I think what I would have liked to see is a little, not too much, but a little confrontation between Yuki and Emma,
mhm,
to the point where Emma, like, not necessarily does something disrespectful to Yuki, but in a sense of, like, where she doesn't fully understand Yuki or Itsuomi's attraction to her, that there is more of an act, like, more action from her to trying to get Itsuomi away from Yuki.
mhm.
Like, upon finding out that they're actually dating, I wanted to see a little bit more of, like, "Oh, no, Imma take your man," type
Mhm.
coming
You
from
wanted some
her.
drama.
Just not like a whole lot, but like a little bit. Almost in the sense of, a silent voice.
Oh, okay. We about to go there.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only thing I can compare it to. There is actually a Japanese drama that I highly, highly, highly recommend, and I'll give more information close, like, to the end. But if you all loved A Sign of Affection, you will definitely love this Japanese drama for those that are J-drama fans. But I kinda wanted to see a little bit more pushback between Emma and Itsuomi. Like, I wanted to see
Interesting.
her fight a little bit for it. I felt
Mhm.
like she just was like, "Oh, well, he likes somebody else." She didn't really try, not like she didn't really try, but, like, she kinda didn't really try. Not as much as,
Yeah.
like, we see from Oshi. Like, Oshi, I feel like he was, in the beginning, trying to get them separated.
Mhm.
You see him actively, like, not being mean to Yuki, but, like, a little bit of a pushback with her,
Mhm.
learning that she likes him, and he kept telling like, "Oh, he's only with you because he kind of pities you," or like those type of people. He didn't really understand, he told
Mhm.
me. And I kind of wanted to see that coming from Emma too, but
Mhm.
not necessarily fully directed at Yuki, like a little bit of both. Like
Mhm.
she on the level of she respects Yuki, but she's still trying to steal Itsuomi. And she's actively like flirting with Itsuomi in front of Yuki to the point where
Mhm.
Yuki kind of jumps up in a confident girlfriend role to try to separate them, is I think what I would have wanted to see.
Interesting, because I feel like one of the reasons why I say for the general public, like, this is a pretty good story is because there's literally no conflict in the story. There is no obstacles, almost none. Not even her, hearing impairment is an obstacle, and, I would say in many ways, that is why I feel like my rating for it being for, like, just general watching is good because it's kinda like you can watch it in the background, or you can watch it without focusing too much because it's not gonna be like an emotional roller coaster.
Right.
And if I have to give my personal rating for this anime.
Wait, before you give your personal rating,
Yeah,
remember, I will
yeah,
jump you. No, I'm kidding.
that's okay. You can jump me.
Oh, no.
Imma be honest. Imma be really honest. This anime is basically just kind of like a typical regular escapist romance written for an audience who doesn't want too much, like too much happening in their stories. And because
Okay.
I've read so much romance and watched so much romance at this time, like at this point in my life, what I want to see more of is depth. Particularly when I watch something that's slice of life or like in the romance genre, I want to see character development. I want to see depth. I want to see things where romance is part of the story, but I want more of the slice of life, meaning what are the hardships that people go through in life? What are the growths that these characters have made? What are all the obstacles in their life? Particularly with her, and her deafness. Um, but that even that wasn't much of a like an obstacle in whether it be her romance and her life. They didn't really show any of that. And so I feel like particularly because there was a story similar, A Silent Voice, and that was well received, well loved. And I do think that type of story, the romance is almost what encases the whole story together, but it's really the character development, the hardships of what she had to go through. It talks about bullying, it talks about, self harm. Even though it seems like her life is getting better, she's
Mhm.
still trying to take her life, like all these aspects of people growing up, redemption, regret, all these types of development in each character. And I feel like this type of story is just incomparable to something like that because this is very much that escapist romance. It
Okay.
doesn't have any obstacles, it doesn't carry and so for me, like, my personal review, it's alright for me, like, as a background show, kind of,
Mhm.
but it's not something I would focus in on because there really was no depth to it.
Okay.
But it's like a enjoyable thing to watch because there is in many ways, there is no depth, so it's easy to watch. But if you compare it to something like I think a lot of people are coming in are gonna watch it probably with the comparison of A Silent Voice, which is a really bad comparison because they explored completely different themes, and
Mhm.
like, A
Right.
Silent Voice was written with a purpose outside of romance. This story, like, it's not meant to be. It's not meant to be that. Not every story has to have, like, a life lesson. Some stories are just made to, like, for entertainment, in fact, most stories are, and I think this story was written for that purpose, for just a lighthearted little cute little romance with very, very no conflict, like, good characters, but there's no depth to it, and that's okay. And that's why I say the rating for, like, the general public to watch, I think is pretty high for me because it's easy to see. There's nothing crazy happening. But, like, from a personal level, my review would be a lot lower because I just
Mm.
expect more from stories now.
Right. Right. Okay, okay. I will accept that because
Mhm.
I know you
Yeah.
and I get it.
Yeah.
But I also kind of feel the same way just to a certain degree. This
Mhm.
anime for me is 100% comfort.
Comfort, yep. I agree.
Like, if I am having a bad day, I can just put this on and just
Yes.
watch Yuki and Itsuomi's little
Mhm.
romance just blossom, and then my heart feels full, and everything's right in the world, even when everything around you is burning. But
Exactly.
I honestly think this would have been an even better story had they touched base a little bit more into Yuki's background. Because they did touch base just, like, very little bit, like, here and there. Like, you see her as a kid, and then you find out, that she actually used to use her voice to speak, but she doesn't
Mhm.
anymore. And, when she's over Itsuomi's house and she kinda chuckles a little bit and then gets super embarrassed because she let her voice out, I think if the show had done a little bit more of a deep dive, or if, like, that was Itsuomi's new goals, like, "Okay, I really wanna hear her voice."
Mhm.
It's not necessarily a necessity, like, he's not gonna push her to speak, but I
Yeah.
think if, like, we see a little bit more into the relationship, we could have heard her voice, like, he could have broken that barrier that she has put up for herself, and I quite honestly think that that would have been even more, of a great story to kind of center and not necessarily focus on, but you kinda see, like, as their relationship blossoms, as she becomes more comfortable with him,
Mhm.
she eventually, like, lets down that wall. I think that would have been really good to kinda add a little bit more background and depth to her, with Itsuomi. Maybe finding out a little bit more of a reason why he travels so much, why
Mhm.
he I don't wanna say escapes reality, but I feel like sometimes his character, the way he talks is like he's trying to really escape reality. He's trying to not be stuck in a place. And I don't know, I think with those 2, I think if they would have expanded on those a little bit more, the story would have gotten even better because it would have had more depth to it.
I almost feel like they almost didn't like, explore a lot of these characters at all because they didn't want the story to be like that. Do you I don't know if that makes sense. I almost felt like
It does.
we want this to be cute. We don't want to think too much, like and we don't want our audience to think too much, um, kind of, like, type of romance, and I almost feel like I don't know if that was purposely done or if it was just that's just how the story is,
Mhm.
but I do feel like it was almost made purposefully to be that type of escapist romance so that
Yeah. Like
it won't be
short,
too deep.
sweet, straight to the point.
Yeah, basically,
Yeah.
because I mean, they started dating really fast,
Well,
and then it just went into their relationship. I was like, "Okay."
they yes and no. Like they didn't really make it official until like a couple of episodes towards the end, but like they started blossoming and texting each other. So like they were talking for a little bit, trying to get to know each other a little better. And then it kind of blossomed into a relationship. So I will say that. But I don't know if you know this, but I saw a couple of people calling him toxic,
Mhm,
and I don't know if it's because of his confidence and I can get her, but there was a lot of people who were more Oshi supporters for Yuki than
mhm,
Itsuomi.
mhm.
Me personally, I can't see him as toxic.
I mean, guess I kinda could, with what happened with Emma, uh, he never made it really clear that he was not interested. I don't know, stuff like that,
And
and
she never
then
made it clear either that she was pursuing him in that way.
yeah, but, like everybody knew. So I guess, like, that aspect of, like, maybe him not really leading her on, that's not, like, the right way to say it, but
Yeah.
also, I guess the way he just met Yuki and then, I don't know, latched onto her,
Yeah, he latched onto her pretty quickly. I get that.
but I can see, like, people might be like, "Oh, Itsuomi's a creep," or something.
I don't know, I couldn't see it like that.
I think 'cause I do think it was a thing of, like, from
Because she's hearing
eh
impaired?
no, I think it's the way he latched onto her so quickly after briefly
Uh,
meeting her for a few times. Um, I think they might have felt it was a little fast because even I was like, "Whoa, okay, he's already into her, okay." Um, I think it just also, there was, like, no obstacles as well, so it could be people felt like, "Oh my god, this guy just meets her and" I don't know. I mean, he just liked her and he was decisive about it.
yeah, I mean, I don't know, maybe to me, but I feel like it should be a good thing to have a man who knows what they want, and that's what
Mhm,
Itsuomi is to me, like, he knows what he wants her, he's not trying to force her into no relationship, he's not, like, actively stalking her, like, he's not
mhm.
forcing her to do anything that is outside of her comfort zone, he's going at her pace. I don't know, I feel like that's, like, perfect right there. I can't
Yeah. I think also because of the characters and their lack of depth, they seemed so much younger. Like, I know they were in college, but they seemed literally like
mm,
teenagers. And so because of that, I think it felt even weirder for like, particularly Yuki. She literally felt 13 when I was watching it. She felt like a 13-year
mm.
old, and Itsuomi felt like maybe he was like 24 or something in some moments, and then he was like maybe 16 in others. Like it
Yeah,
just felt a little bit maybe unsettling because the lack of depth really made them feel so young. Like, if this
mhm,
was in high school, I would have probably been like, "Oh, this makes more sense." Like, but I'm like, "Oh, they're in college? Oh, okay." Yeah, you know?
yeah.
Um, so maybe in that realm, people were just like, "Oh, wait." You kind of forget that they're supposed to be I think, what are they, 19 or something? I don't know, but they're
So
kind of almost adults.
she's 19, and I think he's
Yeah.
probably, like, I'll say 21. Anywhere
Mhm.
like 2021 maybe.
I think because she mentioned she was never in love, da 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 da, and then after meeting some guy on a bus, like, she falls in love. In the blink of an eye, they both, like,
Yeah,
fall in love. Maybe people were like, "What?" Which I
like, that
understand,
could be a red
kinda
flag.
yeah, like, it's like, "What?" But I think they just felt very
But
youthful. They felt young.
yeah, I could see it, but, I mean, he still seemed like the perfect guy to me. You got a fine man who knows what he wants, is gonna go at your
Mhm,
pace, and make sure that you are comfortable at all times and protect you.
mhm,
So, ooh, another question for you.
mhm.
I don't know if you remember this girl, cause she wasn't stagnant in the show. Izumi Yoshiki, she had a crush on
Yeah,
Oshi.
She right? Yeah, yeah, I remember her.
Yes. How did you feel about her basically outing Yuki out and be like, "Well, she going around here with a man."
I mean, 1, she's in love with this guy, but also I think she's a friend and she doesn't she almost, like, wants him to be prepared, because Yuki and Oshi are not even really friends. They're like they were like friends
They're
in
childhood
childhood.
friends.
Not even, like, they didn't have each other's phone numbers even, you know what I mean? He had to ask her mom for her contact. So,
Oh,
they
yeah.
they weren't even really friends, like, you couldn't even call them friends. They just knew each other, knew of each other. They were literally acquaintances. So, I don't think Yuki would have ever told him because they don't have that relationship. So, I think Izumi in many ways is Oshi's friend, and she
Mm.
does also like him. So, I think she was kind of trying to look out for him and let him know, "Hey, like, the girl you like, she's dating someone, right?" Um, just to soften the blow in many ways.
Well, see, that's how you took it. I took it as, "Girl, mind your business." That's not That's not your information to give
Yeah.
because you're not close with Yuki. You don't talk to her like that. So why are you
Yeah.
gonna go to Oshi, regardless of how you know how he feels, and just be like, "Hey, she's dating somebody." Like, that's not your business to tell. And even if it was, unless you are confessing your love to him and you trying to like make an argument, don't just go over to that man's house and be like, "Look, I got some news to tell you." Like, he didn't ask,
Mhm.
and I'm
Well,
pretty sure he probably had his suspicions.
think about it. Imagine me, right? There's a guy I really like, and you see him on the street with his girlfriend. You won't come to me and be like, "Girl,
But you
he's
and I
dating
are close
someone."
friends. Him and this other girl
So
barely
are
talk.
they. No, they're friends. She watched they're like childhood friends, and she even asked him to watch her dog. They hang out together, like, in his room. Like, they're friends.
Nah, 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 nah,
They are
nah, nah.
friends.
I saw it as this I mean, like, yes, I think they were friends at one point,
They were
but
still
it's
friends. They were
also
chilling in his house with her dog. Like, who you don't give your dog to some rando. Like, you only give your dog to a friend.
either way it goes, she rubbed me the wrong way. And the reason she rubbed me the wrong way is because I felt like she was trying to force him to leave Yuki alone, which I understand. Like, let's say they did have a relationship like you and I have, like a friendship like you and I have.
Mhm.
I would approach it differently. I would just be like, "Look, I think he's dating somebody, leave that man alone."
Yeah.
But
I mean, she could have said it better, but
yeah, she could have said it better. Like, her whole approach was sus to me. I'm not gonna lie.
mhm.
It was definitely sus. I think Izumi's approach rubbed me the wrong way because I was like, "Girl, you are in love with this man and you really trying to
Yeah.
break him down while also trying to wiggle your way into his heart. That's not working."
Yeah. I mean, she could have done it better, but realistically, as a person who's in love with somebody and you see the person that you love is like hurting and has been hurting for literal years and have been obsessed with this one girl that he doesn't even have the phone number for and they're not even friends. Like, girl.
Well, then if that's the case, she should have been a good friend and tried to help set them up
But she doesn't even know
before Yuki.
Yuki. That's the
Well,
thing.
that's the problem. That is
What?
the problem.
I'm not
You
setting
don't
you up
even
with
know
some person I
Yuki.
don't know.
You
But
don't even know
I'll be letting
Yuki.
you know if that dude was seeing with some other girl. I'm gonna be like, "Yo,
But that's
you
the
know,
thing.
he's
That's
been
the
seeing
thing.
with
She
someone
don't know
else."
Yuki well enough to be telling Yuki's business.
No, but she knows Oshi well enough to be telling him the girl he likes
Right, but
is
what if Yuki and Itsuomi were in class together and they're going to study? And it's really no big deal. So now you going around telling this other girl's business who you don't even know, you don't talk to. Mind your
honestly,
business.
I looked at it as like she was trying to tell the boy she loved, like, "You need a reality check, sir. Gonna she's not into you. This girl ain't is never gonna look at you, bro."
B-
I don't know how else to tell it to you, but she's with some other man. Like you've already been out of her league, but you're really out of.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like, okay, so you choose now when you see him with another dude to go tell him to leave her alone. I'm just saying her approach was a little sus. That's all I'm saying. She liked Oshi.
Yeah, she
That's
did.
why I was like, you have an ulterior motive. This is why this is sus, and you should have minded your business.
Yeah,
Personally. But it is what it is. It's fine. That's all right. It's all right.
yeah. I mean, either way, she was probably gonna tell him, but also she's got a reason to like be like, hey, listen, you got to see reality. That girl is so out of your league.
Yeah.
But I'm right here.
It's like,
A
look,
girl's
don't
gotta do
worry
what a
about
girl's gotta
her.
do. Okay.
That is very true. That is very true.
I mean, she already knew he had no. She already knew he had no chance. That's what I feel. I feel like she was like, "Bro, you need to stop daydreaming. You know that girl is never gonna turn your."
You don't even have her
Uh,
number.
to ask her mom.
You don't even need to have her number. Leave that girl alone. That would have made more sense.
But they don't do that in Japan, okay? They don't, they don't talk like that. Would have been you when you had a crush on him. You'd probably be like, "Listen, leave that girl alone. She never has turned your way, and she never will.
Yeah, I
You
think
missed your
I
chance.
yeah.
It's been like 10 years too long, too late."
Let's look. Leave that man alone.
Mhm.
Okay? Or leave that girl alone.
Yeah,
Sorry.
leave that
Leave that
girl
girl
alone.
alone.
And that man.
My gosh. But I am glad that you watched it.
Mhm.
I'm so happy. I will say, if you enjoyed this, there is a Japanese drama that I quite honestly think it this one is more in depth. So I actually think you'll like this probably more than A Sign of Affection because of
Mhm.
how deep it goes into.
Mhm.
And the Japanese drama is called A Silent Voice. No, it's not. Sorry.
Wait, I was about to be like, "What?"
Sorry, I'm getting all of the titles mixed up. The Japanese drama is called Silent, and it is on Viki for anybody that is interested. It is on Viki, Viki. That drama is so good. And I'm not gonna give too much information or anything because I honestly think you would actually enjoy it. But it is a story about a guy and a girl who are dating in high school. The guy suddenly breaks up with the girl. She doesn't know why. And I'll say about I believe it's anywhere between 4 to 8 years later, they suddenly reunite. Well, the thing is, he can't hear. And so it is a story, beautiful, beautifully written story about their love at the time when they were in high school, their breakup, them reconnecting, and no spoilers, so I'm just going to pose this as a question if they get back together or not. And if they get back together or not, are they going to face challenges now that he cannot hear? And it is so beautifully written and it dives so deep into his backstory, her backstory, their backstory together, their friends and family that is involved. I cannot hype this Japanese drama up enough. I'm telling you, if you liked A Silent Voice, if you liked A Sign of Affection, you will love this Japanese drama called Silent. Once again, it is streaming on Viki. I cannot recommend it enough. Quite honestly, if you guys are interested, I'm gonna make Mikan watch it. I honestly think you will thoroughly enjoy it.
We shall see. I might obliterate that one too.
No, it's not like trust me, I think this one is probably a little bit more up your alley
Mhm.
than these others. It's closer to the line of A Silent Voice
Mhm.
than A Sign of Affection. Trust me, you will love it.
Mhm.
It
Okay.
really dives deep into each of the characters' backstories and history, everything. It really does. Emotions just oh my gosh. It is so good. Okay? So maybe one day y'all that's gonna come, but Mika gotta watch it first. But I am glad that you at least enjoyed it more so
Yeah.
than Yakuza Fiance. I was a little worried about Yakuza Fiance after that. I was like, dang, she not gonna let me recommend nothing else to her. Uh,
No, this was
uh,
definitely better. This is definitely better.
That's good. That's good. Well, I'm so glad you like it. Thanks for watching it for me. Hey, hey, hey.
Yeah.
Yay. And thank you guys so much for listening to this week's episode. We thoroughly appreciate it. What did you guys think of A Sign of Affection? Is it in some of your top lists for romance? Would you recommend it to anybody else? Please let us know. And we are going to just give a quick PSA, public service announcement. Starting in June, we are going to try and switch our weekly episode release schedules to bi-weekly episode release schedules. We are not going to stop this podcast. However, we're going to take just a little step back and we're going to start doing bi-weekly episodes in the hopes that if we do bi-weekly episodes, we'll be able to cover more in-depth shows. We're going to finally be able to get that Full Metal Alchemist episode out to you guys. And if you guys would
Yes.
prefer the weekly episodes, we will definitely try and get back to that. Just for a little bit, we're going to scale it back just a little bit and do bi-weekly episodes. And that will start in June. So the first Friday of June, we will have an episode.
Yes.
And then after that, we're going to be here for
Every
you
other.
guys every other week.
But if you miss us, you can always listen to our older episodes.
Yes. And if you've heard our older episodes and you're all caught up, as I hope each and every single one of you are, then during the weeks that we are not having an episode release, we might do something else. Mikan and I are going to discuss just to kind of see. That way, at least you guys can still interact with us and hopefully maybe interact with us live. But we really want to give you guys the best version of us. And we think if we try the bi-weekly episode, you guys will get a better version of us. We truly, truly thank each and every one of you that have been rocking with us since day one.
Yeah.
We don't intend to disappoint anybody with this change, but we just want to make sure that you guys are getting the best version of us at all times. And we would want to try and schedule out time to, hopefully talk to us live. And we love you guys so much. We really do.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for everything. And like I said, we're going to scale it back just a little bit and do bi-weekly episodes starting in June, which is coming up. Okay? It's coming
Next
up.
month.
It's next month. We are going to have an episode first Friday in June. And then you won't see us until the third Friday in June, and so on and so forth. But please, please, please still keep rocking with us. We really appreciate every single thing you guys have done. We love you guys.
We love y'all
so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I know from the bottom of Mikan's heart. Love you guys. And please be sure to follow us on our socials at Anime Sekai Podcast on Instagram and TikTok. We post each week what episodes we're going to cover for that week. So if you guys want to follow us to get that information, you can follow us on either platform. Once again, guys, thank you so much for joining us on this week's episode. We will catch you guys again next week for another brand new episode of Anime Sekai Podcast. Bye, guys. Catch you next week. We will be here next week.
Yes, we will. We'll still be here next week.
We'll still
Love
be
you
here.
guys.
Love
Bye.
you guys. Bye.